Poppy, darling. Thank you for popping in, Poppy. I appreciate you, lady. All right, I know I'm getting this live started way earlier than what I was going to, but this case has remained calm, kind of going cuckoo. All right, so I have been following the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case from the beginning, from the jump. All right, from the jump. And first, let me show you who Celeste is. Got to show you who Celeste is. Where are you, Celeste, darling? I know you're over here, sweetie. This is Celeste. This is Celeste when she was 11 years old. 11 years old. Somehow, when Celeste was 11, they were all on gaming sites. She meets, let me find David's picture. She meets a individual that is a singer in his own right. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about David. We do things a little different over here, okay? So David, in the early 2020s, he was live streaming video games, right? He was a big Fortnite guy. That exposed him to different things. David, let me tell you about David's home life. Okay. David was born in New York City, but they moved to Houston. Okay. So he was raised in Houston. Now, David grew up in a devout Christian household, strict Christian household, where he was homeschooled. He was homeschooled. So while he was homeschooled, he decided that he was going to do some montage videos, different songs that he had been writing. He basically used his homeschooling experience for gaming, he loved to write poetry. He would read a lot of books. So David would have had to have been 17 to 18 years old when he met this 11-year-old girl named Celeste. Now, they had hooked up and did some live streaming together. Celeste had, and I'm not here to say anything bad about Celeste or her family. I couldn't imagine what they're going through right now. But Celeste had ran away from home a couple times. Now, the family doesn't want people to sit around and look at Celeste like she was not a good girl, okay? It seemed like when Celeste ran away, guess where she went? Guess where she went? Now, this is Celeste a little bit older, and this young man is named David. Now, he goes by, David is spelled D4VD, okay? Is spelled D4DV. So somehow, and I would love to know the exact moment that these two individuals were drawn to each other through the universe, right? She was only 11. How would she have met him? So David is like, hey, Celeste, you're my girl, right? Celeste runs away. She goes to his house. Now, don't forget, David is on top of the world right now. He is on top of the world. He's very successful. We can talk about Coachella for people who know what Coachella is. David actually performed at Coachella. Now, the thing that kind of, goes through Remain Calm's mind is Celeste, her remains were found in the trunk of a Tesla that belonged to David. That belonged to David. Okay? Also, from my understanding, that Tesla had been sitting outside a house that was rented by David, okay? Or his handlers, whatever you want to call it. All right. And the vehicle was being moved around. It was being moved around. Now, if someone knew that Celeste is, and we just got to say it over here, real talk, I'll tell you the cause of death here in a minute. I will. I promise. We are just getting started. So, let me get over to Celeste. I did try to pull this up correctly. Celeste was found in that vehicle, decomposed, and they did not good things to the remains. Okay. They basically found Celeste in 2 different bags in the trunk of this car. Okay. Hey, Constance. But don't forget, David is he is a, he's a celebrity. He became a celebrity very quickly. Okay. Now, I ain't saying anything about that. What they believe happened. He met Celeste when she was about 11 years old. They're stating that the first time that he had relations with her was when she turned 13 years old. When she turned 13 years old. They're saying there's no denying the relationship because David, being a 21-year-old, big celebrity guy now, had actually kept digital evidence of things happening on his phone. So Celeste has been hanging around since she was 11, right? And what they're saying is Celeste had seen a lot of criminal activity going on around David and possibly his cohorts, right? And Celeste, just getting ready to turn 15, says, I want you to tell people that you're in a relationship with me. I think it's time that you give me my flowers, right? David didn't like that. David didn't like that. It would ruin him forever. Okay? So they state, hold on, I'm going to pull up the court papers right here. Let me get the court papers up. And this is all very interesting. It really is. I'm going to read it to you. Okay, this is the people of the state of California versus David Anthony Burke, also known as David spelt with a 4. On or about April 23rd, 2025, in the county of Los Angeles, the crime of red rum, in violation of Penal Code Section 187, a felony was committed by David Anthony Burke, who did unlawfully and with malice aforethought red rum a human being. Notice, the above offense is a serious felony within the meaning of Penal Code Section 1192 and a violent felony within the meaning of Penal Code Section 667 -5 or whatever. Now, one thing I want to say is penal codes usually they're like, each state has like specific penal codes. So these are the penal codes for California. Okay. So they're saying he did it. They're also saying that it was intentional and was carried out by the defendant, David Anthony Burke, for financial gain. Now, okay, let's get into this financial gain. Okay. So you got this one 21-year-old that basically became successful while he was canoodling with an 11-year-old. So Celeste may have felt like, I've been here with you since the beginning. Okay? You did things with me when I turned 13 years old. He waited until she turned 13. Now, I don't know if there's any significance anywhere that reason he would wait until she was 13. Maybe he felt that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fucking guy was feeling. This kid's in a shitload of trouble. And he don't seem like he cares. So, yes, they say he unalived her. Okay. But it gets creepier. I mean, this is already creepy, right? So basically what they're saying is that upon a felony conviction for the above charge, prison time, prison custody time to be served in state prison. But they also have the DP. Yes. And it sounds to me like that I don't understand. It took them months. It took them months to arrest David. Celeste's remains were found in the car. I think that they are saying, and I could be wrong, I mean, my mind is overloaded with all this stuff right now, for real. they believe that Celeste, someone laid in wait. They believe he laid in wait. Got her when she was at least expecting it. Okay? Got it when she was least expecting it. I was always curious, and I read up on the parents of Celeste and all of that. If she was around David for, they're specifying a year of digital evidence that showed that David was doing things with Celeste. A year is a long time to not be in contact with your family. I am not blaming the family. Don't anybody get me wrong. I'm not. I am not doing that under any way, shape, or form. They say it was intentional. They believe, this is what they're saying. They believe Celeste was a witness to a crime and was intentionally unalived because of the fact that they believe she witnessed different criminal activities going on. Now, this is the thing. Hear me out, people. I am not saying that this guy is not guilty. I don't know. Innocent until proven guilty. He has pled not guilty. Okay? You would think that a 21-year-old who very quickly, within a matter of a few years, becomes highly successful. Who were his handlers? Who were David's handlers? Now, when I say that, I mean like, who was his PR agents? Who were these people that were supposed to be keeping an eye on someone who obviously was making other people a lot of money also? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm not going to get into any conspiracy stuff, but I hope that makes sense to you guys. Even though he was making money himself, and I mean, when he became big, he was making a lot of money. People make money off of people like that. So, I mean, I could argue, I'm not even the defense, that someone in that environment with David was very aware of Celeste, very aware that it had been going on for years, and very concerned when the possibility came out that Celeste wasn't playing the game no more. Okay? You're looking at a little girl who was groomed by this guy. There's no doubt about it. She was absolutely groomed by him. Absolutely groomed by him. Nobody's going to tell me any different. You're freaking not. Hold on. Hold on, dang it. I am making a mess. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, sorry guys. I spilled my soda. Oh, I had to clean my soda up. So, one thing that got me was his performance at Coachella. I don't know if I can find it. He tries to do a backhanded flip or something. He tried to do a back flip and he lands on his face. But he's at this big music festival and he's performing. I mean, it's kind of odd, right? Hold on a minute. Dang it, dang it. I'm so uncoordinated today. Oh. Okay. So basically, they're saying David gets upset. Celeste, like, I'm not doing this no more. You messed with me since I was 11. You do not nice things to me when I'm 13. And so she's getting ready to turn 15. Now, it is so sad because she was found the day after her 15th birthday. In the trunk of that Tesla. Now, this is what I want to ask. Tesla's got cameras. Can you just shut those off? I don't know anything about a Tesla. I ain't never owned one. Elon, send me a Tesla, dude. I think poor people should be allowed a Tesla like the Obama phones, right? Do you hear that, Elon? We want Teslas. Obama gave out cell phones. Come on, you can do better than that, Elon. We all want Teslas. Okay. So this is crazy here. So the prosecution says that there's a significant amount of child pornography and images depicting child sex abuse were discovered on David's phone and iCloud account. And yes, it did belong to David Anthony Burke. Now, at the time of her passing, Celeste was only 14. They found these images and videos during an investigation into Celeste's passing. She was discovered in the trunk of the Tesla in September of 2025. There was a relationship, they say. The digital evidence includes images with Celeste, who was 14 at the time of her passing. David's pled not guilty to charges of red rum, continuous sexual abuse of a child, and mutilation of remains. Why mutilate her? Why mutilate her? Why would they need to do that? I don't understand that, why they would need to do that. Now, one thing that's interesting is it would be the manner of Celeste passing. Okay. So here's another case, everybody. For those of you hanging out and listening. Hey, Karen, good to see you. An individual that we have seen prior be charged with red rumming a young girl and also having, they say there's 40 terabytes of footage. 40 terabytes. So Remain Calm did this for you. Let me find it. I did this for you guys because I love y'all. I do. I have 40 terabytes. Listen up, class. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I got my dinger. I do. It's right here. Listen the fuck up. That's a lot of digital storage. Okay. So 40 terabytes equal around 40,000 gigabytes or 40 trillion bytes. 40 terabytes is enough to hold approximately 10,000 hours of HD video. You could watch high definition videos continuously for over a year. Over a freaking year, y'all. See what I do for you guys. I will Google things for you guys. I will. $10 to 40 terabytes is often quoted as being enough to store a massive portion of the printed collection of the U.S. Library of Congress. Listen to this, if your smartphone has 128 gigabyte of storage, 40 terabytes is equivalent to the storage capacity of over 300 smartphones combined. What? That's a lot. It's designed for major data centers, professional video production, or holding incredibly massive high definition databases. Wow. So David had a lot. David had a lot. Hello, Justin. Justin, you crack me up. You really do. I just don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with Justin. I don't. Do you want to come up and say hi? Is that what you want to do? Justin, how come? Justin, that's not any fair. You know I'm a nice person, Justin. You make me feel bad. All right. I'll let you come up and say hi. And then that's it, brother. Justin. Justin, he a player. Justin, you're a player. All right, hurry up. Hurry up, damn it. I ain't got all day, mister. Get up here and show everybody how cute you are. All right, we're just waiting on Justin. Justin, Justin, where you at? Are you going to wear a hat? Hello, Justin. It's good to see you.
Hello.
How
Good.
are you?
Yeah, good. Of course
Good.
you're nice, though.
Aw, thanks, Justin.
Of course.
Tell everybody hi so I can get back to what I'm doing.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Bye, Justin. All right. Thanks, Justin. Oh, you're cooking too? Oh my gosh, you guys, I pigged out today. I ate sweet and sour chicken, a little rice on the side, and then I was like, wow, those little egg rolls I have in there would go wonderful with it. Then I ended up eating egg rolls too. Oh, I did. I got a full belly. My belly was full, I'm telling you. Okay, so this guy meets Celeste, 11 years old. He's about 17 or 18. He allegedly waits until she's 13 to have sexual relations with her. Celeste, like I said, after her remains were found, she had a birthday. She passed away when she was 14. When they found the remains in the car, she was either just turned 15 the day before, or she was turning 15 the day after her remains were found. So this is a young girl that absolutely was groomed by David. I mean, you can't, that's just, I don't know how anybody could say that that's not what transpired, right? For sure. For sure. Now, like I said, David was getting bigger in the music scene. He has a beautiful voice. I will give him that. I am not going to play any of his songs over here because you guys know I'll get in trouble. But one thing that I do want to say is, for him being born into an environment where there were really strict parents, there was homeschooling, you know, there was the religious aspect of it. He only listened to gospel music until he was, I thought he said 13. And I'll have to go back and find that because I did read up on that. He was like, I want to say he was like 13 when he started listening to different genres of music. Now, you can go back and check if you want to. This guy, his lyrics to some of his songs are very dark lyrics, which kind of surprised me because I'm like, well, it didn't take you very long to, you know, step back from this Christianity, strict religion to speaking of very dark things. So they are saying David, as an adult, had illegal underage sexual relationship with Celeste beginning when she was 13. Prosecutors claimed that on April 23rd, 2025, David unalived 14-year-old Celeste with a sharp instrument and disposed of her remains because she threatened to reveal his sexual crimes and derail his music career. Now, that's the sad thing. I mean, so I have, who thinks, I mean, a lot of you guys, they haven't even followed this case. I completely get it. But you have to wonder if there was more than one person that knew about this. If there was more than one person, because the Tesla kept being moved on the road quite a few times. Quite a few times that Tesla was moved and put in a different position on the road. So it sounds to me like they definitely didn't want that car sitting in the same spot for very long because of the possibility of it getting towed. Right? But that kind of doesn't make sense to me, because if you have someone remains in your vehicle, why wouldn't you get rid of them? They say that she was in the trunk of that vehicle for months. For months. The charges that they have on him so far can lead up to life in prison without parole or the DP. What they also found interesting was the cause of death. Now, they kept talking about something going on with the coroner's office, right? And why it took so long for the coroner's office to release the cause of death. The report concluded that Celeste passed away by homicide from 2 penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp, forced injuries. Okay, so they're saying someone laid in wait and knew exactly what they were going to do to her. I want to know who helped him. I'm just saying, that's just where my mind goes. That is where my mind goes. But yeah, David was big on TikTok. Now, this is what gets me also. He signed a record deal. And just a year prior, he had released a debut album called Withered. He said, I was homeschooled the majority of high school. So I was at home, just video gaming, writing, poetry, and reading books. Now, of course, he's in jail, so a lot of his concerts have been canceled. But you have to ask yourself, did he do it on his own? Did he do it on his own? Who knew about it? No, not as far as I know, Karen. Hey, Carrie Lawson. Not as far as I know. They didn't find anything. So that's what they're going for, you guys. But I don't know. In my mind, I can't see no one else not knowing about this. Let me say this. Whoever had started to go out and move that vehicle around, eventually, if they didn't know that there was a body in that car, then they would have eventually found out. You cannot hide the smell of a decomposing body. You cannot hide the smell of death. I know serial killers have tried. You know, how many serial killer shows have y'all watched where they've got like 100 of those little fragrance trees hanging all over their house, right? Trying to cover up the smell. And it's not a smell that I love to smell. Once you work at a hospital and you're around that environment, you know, it stays with you. You never forget it. Never, ever. I'm not. I want to know who introduced them when she was 11. Did she go on? I know that they did a stream together, right? The COD said that the 14-year-old died from multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects, ruled her manner of passing a homicide. Because, see, at first, I think they were thinking that maybe she had been given some substances. And I am not seeing a clear answer on that. So, did they give her some substances? Wait until, you know, she wasn't with it, and just waited to act on whatever they were thinking. You believe they met in a chat room? Well, I'm sure they initially met in a chat room. See, what made me question this cause of death was the multiple penetrating injury caused by objects, that made me question if she was not alive. I mean, when they started dismembering the remains. But they say that she had 2 penetrating wounds in her torso. So she had 2 wounds in her torso. I would assume like being stabbed by something. Bilateral dismemberment of upper and lower extremities, and multiple additional skin defects. This is where I got confused. The toxicology report stated she had alcohol in her system and tested as presumptive positive for benzos, meth, MDMA on the initial screening. They needed further testing to confirm that. Now they're saying that the meth and designer opioids were inconclusive due to interfering substances on the second drug screening. MDA and benzos were also not detected. I don't understand. It stated she had alcohol in her system, presumptive positive. Okay, so they're just presuming that she was positive for those other things. All right, kind of weird, but postmortem toxicology performed on the liver tissue showed the presence of a low level of ethanol. That could have been due to postmortem changes or ingestion. Does not appear to be contributory to the cause of death. This is where the coroner shit gets weird. They're saying the cause and manner of death were determined December 9th, 2025. Last fall, the LAPD was granted a request to seal the team's autopsy finding amid the ongoing investigation into Red Rum. Celeste's remains were found in 2 separate bags in the trunk of the Tesla, registered to a 21-year-old music artist. One day after her 15th birthday. They found her one day after her 15th birthday. Wow. Kind of crazy. This stuff is cuckoo. Cuckoo. I don't understand. They believe that the red one was committed by David and that he intentionally unalived her by means of lying in wait. There are, I mean, this guy streams all the time. This guy, he streams all the freaking time. So there's not any way that people in that environment did not know what was going on. That's what I believe, right? I don't know if it, I mean, it's all sad. But then we look at this case and it's like, well, look at everything that we've heard about the music industry, right? Like I said, I'm not going to sit over here and say the guy's not guilty. I'm not going to sit over here and say he's guilty. I try to see things all the way around, right? The last time Celeste ran away, let me find it. I want you guys to, I know I'm not very professional over here. I'm not. Let's see what we got. 7 months after Celeste was found in the trunk of his car, he pled not guilty to first-degree red rum. Charges that possibly carry the DP and life in prison. David's abandoned Tesla was towed to the police impound lot Okay, let's get into it. David's legal name is David Anthony Burke, was charged with first-degree red rum with special circumstances, which is the special circumstances, I believe, are the lying in wait, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, and mutilating human remains. They say because he was in a relationship with Celeste, that she was going to expose him, and he freaked. But I have a weird question. Why people around him had to have known of Celeste? They said they even had video where he, in his Tesla, was going to her home. He would be outside Celeste's home. That's what they said. He didn't talk when he went into court the first time. The first time he went into court, he had on a black sweatshirt and light gray sweatpants. this last time he went in, he was in an orange jumpsuit. He was also handcuffed. This sexual abuse, they believe, started in September of 23 until September of 24. A whole year. A whole year. They have pictures of her on tour with this guy. They have pictures of Celeste at different venues where David was performing. What was he telling people? This is my 12-year-old friend, right? This is my 13-year-old friend. People are not going to tell me they didn't know. They didn't know. Celeste, they felt, threatened to expose him, tear his life apart. It's all weird to me because they are putting out that he lived in a strict religious environment, right? Only listen to gospel music. Only listen to gospel music. He then becomes this singer over social media that takes off, and hence begin the yes man period. Yes, David, you can do that. Yes, David, you can do that. Hey, David, why don't you do this? Make us a little bit more money, right? Hey, Dev. Celeste had gone to David's house in the Hollywood Hills on April 23rd, 2025. She was never heard from again after that. Now, did he unalive her? I mean, we really don't know. We don't know. I just don't understand how a 11-year-old hooks up with a 17, 18-year-old. The relationship, the grooming, of course, is probably a lot for Celeste. He has this so-called relationship with this child, and they find her unalived in his vehicle, and he's still going on the road. He's still performing. He's still performing before he gets arrested. I don't get that. This dude's got, I mean, he's got serious issues, but I think he's got some real freaking serious issues. It would seem to me that, you know, any religious aspect went out the window. It all just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm telling you guys, it really doesn't. They say Celeste was a witness to lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed. So, was it because these acts were being done to her, or she was aware of other instances? And she's not here to tell us. That's sad. Financial gain. Financial gain. It took him forever to find her. Ugh. But I can guarantee you guys the digital evidence, there's going to be a whole lot of digital evidence, right? I don't know if they considered him living alone or not, Karen. He was a big, he was big on social media. He was big in the gaming community. He became big on YouTube. This guy was streaming all the time. He did have a best friend who stayed with him. Now, the best friend, I think his name's Neon or something. I don't know. These influencers and stuff all have these weird ass names, but they took this case to the grand jury 3 different times. Okay? There were 3 different grand jury investigations before they finally arrested David. Now, they wanted his friend to testify for the grand jury. This guy wasn't going to do it. They put a warrant out for this guy's arrest. They wanted him to come in and tell them what he knew about Celeste and what happened to Celeste, or what he knew about David or whatever. He did go in and testify for the grand jury. David's friend did. So, I mean, it's a whole lot. When you go getting into social media and, everything that they had going on or whatever, right? So, they did wait quite a while before they charged him. So, Celeste had been reported missing 3 different times by her family. Okay? 3 different times. Which the urgent pleas took place in early 2024. Loved ones and friends grew alarmed about the 7th grader's safety and whereabouts. 7th grade. 7th grade. That's nuts. She was 13 at the time. She's a beautiful girl. So beautiful. Like I said, a day after her 15th birthday. What was that? Hang on a minute. Okay, sorry. She was found dismembered and decomposing in the trunk of David's Tesla while he was in Minneapolis on a world tour promoting his album Withered. So she's unalive in the trunk, and he's on a world tour. They say they do have different kinds of proof that she was alive almost a year after she was first reported missing. I think that they got the pictures from when he was on tour. When he was on tour. Neighbors say the car appeared abandoned, parked on a street not far from the Hollywood Hills home where David had been living. It was towed, and law enforcement was alerted because of the smell. They did not arrest him until April 16th. He is being held without bail. The house he was living in, they say that it was $20,000 a month rent. $20,000 a month rent. I would have to kind of dig in a little bit more to see what I could find out about him signing with that record label. Somewhere between January and March of 2024, the singer was photographed stepping out of a black Tesla just blocks from Celeste's home. In June of 24, Celeste was photographed backstage at a sold-out show David performed at the Fonda Theater in Los Angeles. The private investigator that's been looking into all this stuff is named what's his name? I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't fathom no one else knowing about it. Really. I think there's more players involved. I think there's a lot more players involved. We'll find out when he goes to court, I guess, right? Interscope Records. Dark Room and Interscope Records, leading him to sign with the label in September of 2022. So, like I said, within a number of years, we had an individual who was homeschooled. His parents were very strict. He listened to, he had no, how do I put that? This This all happened to David within a short period of time. Within a short period of time. He blew up very quickly, and it went on from there. We're just talking about a number of years. We're not, you know. He went from a religious background, listening to hymns all day, you know, Christian music, family strict. He used to go into his sister's closet to, you know, sing his songs and record them or whatever. He would do that in his sister's closet. So a short time after he signs with that label, he is up and running. Like I said, some of his songs, just the verbiage he uses is very dark. Very dark. It kind of seems like, did his family had to have known about Celeste? Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. They didn't have to know about her. I mean, obviously, Celeste didn't try to hide that she was a runaway if she was allowing pictures to be taken of her, you know, behind the scenes. She wasn't hiding it. Sad. Very sad, y'all. This guy was catapulted to the top very quickly. Very quickly. People who invested their money in this guy yep. The car was his. Now, if he wasn't at the property, somebody had to have known that that was in the car. I just can't help feeling that way. I really can't. Excuse me. Hey, the mouse. Wouldn't Celeste have understood that saying something like that to David was not a good idea? Hey, Angie's Live. Wow. This guy. Celeste does deserve justice, for real. But could he be innocent? He could be. Right? I kind of wonder if the prosecution isn't playing their cards in such a way where maybe David will take a plea deal, right? If he's got all of that stuff on his devices, and those devices are his, then he's the one that's going to get in trouble for them, right? Especially if there's digital evidence that he was recording Celeste, taking pictures inappropriately of Celeste. You can't get by with that. Now, the car, that's kind of a different story, I think, because with the car, that car may have been in his name, but there obviously had been other people who could get into that vehicle. Now, I'm not from California. I do know there are some places that people will absolutely go out and move their vehicle every couple days or whatever, just so it doesn't get towed. But if that smell was permeating, whatever you want to say, permeating, as bad as it was that the tow company called law enforcement, whoever was getting in and moving that freaking car had to have smelled it. They had to have. There's also a video out there of David with his friends doing a live stream, and David proceeds to tell this girl that his bathroom stinks for a reason. He tried to say he took a dump, but you know what? I should go to David's stuff and see if YouTube still has him monetized. Right? You still letting him monetize YouTube? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. But right now, that's all we know. I don't. It's weird to me. The guy goes from homeschooling, listening to hymns, to family being kind of strict, and to being on his own in Los Angeles, a lot of money floating around, a lot of people probably telling him what a great guy he is. They didn't know what to do about Celeste. They didn't know what to do about Celeste. Huh. Very interesting, though. Very, very interesting. So here we go again. If they can't get him for the red rum, they're going to get him for everything that was found on his devices. Okay? And let me tell you this. Which is kind of weird to me, but I'm going to read this to you. On or between September 7, 2023, September 7, 2024. In the county of Los Angeles, the crime of continuous sexual abuse in violation of Penal Code Section 280, whatever that is, I can't see it. A felony was committed by David Anthony Burke, who did unlawfully engage in 3 or more acts of substantial sexual conduct. 3 or more acts, as defined in Penal Code Section, and 3 more lewd and lascivious acts. I may be saying that wrong. That's how I say that. A child under the age of 14 years. While the defendant resided with and had reoccurring access to the child. So they are definitely saying that September 7th of 2023, for a year, that Celeste and David resided with each other. They are saying he had total access to her. Total access to her. Right? Here's a notice. The above offense is a serious felony. Within the meaning of Penal Code Section 1192-7C, and a violent felony within the meaning of Penal Code Section 66.7.5C. Conviction of this offense will require you to register. Not registering is a crime. Conviction of this offense will require the court to order you to submit for a blood test for evidence of antibodies to the probable cause agent of acquired immune deficiency. Okay, so they are saying that, okay, that's kind of weird, but being charged with this criminal offense can result in mandatory pre-conviction HIV/AIDS testing and disclosure of the result to a victim and the chief medical officer of the jail or prison facility. Okay, so You're going to be serving prison time. Yeah, David's in trouble. He's in big trouble. But like I said, it's very disturbing to me that this guy, if he knew that she was in that car, he went on like it was nothing. He went on like it was nothing. And there is still so much more to this story, you guys. There really is. A whole lot. We just barely we just barely touched the surface. For sure. For sure. La 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 la. Craziness, right? Constance, don't forget to let me know. Hey, Army vet. I don't do the smoky, but I don't mind a little piece of candy. I love candy. I really do. Love me some candy. I mean, what do we do? My Venmo and my Cash App is on the banner. If anybody wants to support the channel, please like me and subscribe. That's what you can do for me. I know I'm not nothing fancy over here, okay? I don't need to be fancy. I've already lived my fancy part of life. Now I'm just chillaxing. That's right, Poppy. It's always 420 somewhere. Okay. Let's see if we got anything else we can cover. Little crazy. Ooh, Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, has opened a practice abroad. Well, how's that working out for you? How's that working out for you, Doc? Inquiring minds want to know. We want to know, man. American millionaire passes away on a $40,000 hunting trip after being charged by an elephant herd. Well, why are you trying to mess with it? Look at this guy. This guy, Lord, just stuck the well. You've covered Nancy and Iran. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot, Army vet. I get it. For sure. Okay. This dude was a millionaire. The elephants did not know he was a millionaire. I can guarantee it. You know, I don't think they were all standing around going, that dude's a millionaire. He paid $40,000 for this trip, right? That's bad. I shouldn't have said it like that. Sorry. His name was Ernie DeCio. He was hunting antelope in Gabon at the time of the incident. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. For real. A 75-year-old California vineyard owner. Wow. It was a guided $40,000 trip when a herd of elephants charged. Wow. That sucks. 5 female elephants with a call. Oh, the elephants had a calf. Oh, yeah, you don't mess with mamas. You don't mess with mamas. During the outing, the hunting party unexpectedly encountered a group of 5 female elephants with a calf. The herd emerged suddenly from dense undergrowth in the area before charging at Docio and his guide. Wow. Yeah, you don't do that. Docio was also the owner of Pacific Agrilands, Inc., a company that manages approximately 12,000 acres of vineyard land in Modesto, provides services, equipment, financing to wine producers. Wow. Elephants can weigh up to 6 tons and has reached heights up to 11 feet. That's a big freaking elephant. That is a big freaking elephant. I'm just saying. Lord. Damn. Let's check this guy out. Home Depot store manager arrested after allegedly giving unauthorized discounts that total more than $4 million. I didn't get any discounts from the Home Depot. Mauricio Jimenez reportedly received higher bonuses as a result of his high sales. Well, heck yeah. Wow. $4 million. The alleged fraud resulted in him receiving large bonuses for hitting high sales targets. Wow. Can you believe that? $4 million. Wow. He is accused of using deliberate and systematic fraud tactics on at least 4,500 separate unauthorized purchases. Well, wait. What do you mean unauthorized? Totaling around 55 million. What? What? I could do a Ziggy. Oh my God. Oh my God. What happened? Oh my God, what just happened? That's fucking wild. He was issuing discounts to different companies. So why'd you let him do it? That's crazy. Well, he kept them coming back, didn't he? Didn't he keep them coming back? 15,000 bond. Wow. How unappreciative are they? I'm just saying. How unappreciative can these people be? For sure. I want to show you guys this again. This is Celeste at 11, you guys. 11 years old. 11 years old. So sad. It is very sad. But I want people to remember Celeste. We need justice for Celeste. I know all the talk right now is about David, but Celeste is the one who's no longer with us right now, for sure. And like I said, you guys want to get more into the case, it's like a rabbit hole. A rabbit hole. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, this what gets me too. Michael Jackson is no longer alive. Okay? So now there's individuals coming out saying Michael did things to him, and they're basically having to you know, fight with the estate, right? Yeah. I haven't got into the Gilgo Beach case. That freaking case is wild. That case is wild. For sure. I just hadn't got a lot into that yet. I've been watching it though. I watch all kinds of stuff. Some stuff I just don't talk about on here. For sure. Oh. So, Cher's son, Elijah Blue Allman. Trouble in paradise again, y'all. So, we talked about this before over here. Okay, we have. He has addiction problems. Cher was trying to get him on a Britney Spears had one. How could they prove with Mike being gone? What do you mean? Mike who? Mike who, Polly? Did I miss something? Temporary conservatorship. Cher filed for a temporary conservatorship of her son's estate earlier this month, claiming he was gravely disabled amid mental health and addiction struggles. She has been trying to get this conservatorship over her son for quite a while. Quite a while. This article just came out yesterday. There is a picture of her son. His father was Greg Allman. But they say A judge denied Cher's request for temporary conservatorship over her son Elijah Blue Allman's estate without prejudice. Allman, 49, is currently in a psychiatric hospital facing criminal charges in 2 New Hampshire cases. So he is in a psychiatric hospital, but he is facing criminal charges in 2 different cases in New Hampshire. Cher claims his struggles with severe mental health and addiction issues and mismanages his money from his late father's trust, right? Her request for her son, Elijah Blue Allman, to be placed under a temporary conservatorship has been denied. They keep denying it for some reason. She can file again. Without prejudice means she can file again. The judge said she didn't see the sufficient urgency in Cher's request for her son, who Cher says is gravely disabled amidst his substance struggles and mental health. He appeared at a hearing on a video call from a psychiatric hospital where he's currently in custody in an attempt to restore him to competency as he faces multiple criminal charges for 2 different cases in New Hampshire. So basically, they're saying he's in a psychiatric hospital because what we're going to do is we are going to try to help him become competent to, for these multiple criminal charges. The judge says, your son's in a mental hospital, pending charges against him. I do not believe that he's going to have access to the money that he receives from his late father. He receives his next distribution of those funds on May 1st. So Cher says all the money he receives from that trust is spent on substances. Oh, don't be sad, Mr. A. Here, I'll send you a hug. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pull my chat up. Let me send you a hug, Mr. A. Mr. A needs a hug. That guy needs a hug. Let me throw you one in chat. Hold on. There you go. There's you a bunch of hugs. There you go. For anybody who needs it. The world is a very sad place. You're absolutely right. It is. Yes, Cher's son, his addiction problems have been over the freaking top, you guys. For sure. He's got a lot of problems. The judge said she certainly understands the concerns of Mr. Allman's friends and family regarding his behavior, but does not believe the concerns mean that he lacks capacity or that probate conservatorship is appropriate. Like I said, we talked back, that was December of 2023. We've talked about this over here before. For sure. They were talking about him being in a freaking rehab in Mexico or some shit. It was really weird. Huh. Also, Cher became a grandmother. He has a 15-year-old daughter. He has a 15-year-old daughter. Cher never had access to this child for years, I guess. Now she has gotten to know her granddaughter. Cher says he has no concept of money, unable to manage his finances due to his allegedly severe mental health and addiction issues. She also said he spends money he gets immediately, and it's nearly always on drugs, expensive hotels, or limousine transportation. In her filing, Cher states that her son owed $18,000 to a substance dealer who tracked him down, leading him to borrow money from a friend to avoid being harmed. He hasn't paid taxes, says he owes $200,000. Now, his estranged wife ordered him to pay spousal support, that's all. Okay, I want to see what he got in trouble for, though. What did you get in trouble for? Elijah Blue Allman waived his arraignment on charges related to an incident at Concord, New Hampshire, I'm assuming prep school. What'd he do at the prep school? Burglary charges. So he got in trouble at this prep school, and then 2 days after that, he was arrested on burglary charges. Okay. What'd he do at the freaking prep school? He waived his arraignment. Waived his arraignment on charges related to an incident at a prep school in Concord. I want to know what he did. Dang it, I want to know what he freaking did. All right, here we go, because you guys know I find out. I find out because that's how I am. I don't leave my people hanging. Y'all hear me? I don't leave people hanging. I don't. Don't like to. Okay. Let's see. New Hampshire. Incident related at St. Paul's School will start June 16th. What the fuck did he do? I want to know what he did. They're not telling me. Are you kidding? You're not telling me what he did? Well, we could probably listen to it. We could probably listen. It is a court thing. I don't know. I want to know what he freaking did. Oh, well, maybe I can't find out what he did. I know the minute I play this, they're going to get me for it, but okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's not, why ain't you working? Why aren't you working?
Bring on the savings.
Commercial.
During your Ford dealers Bring It On sales event. Get out there now in a capable and versatile
Get out
Ford
there
SUV.
now. Hopefully you guys can hear that. I mean, you can't hear it yet. We got to get through the 100 freaking ads. There is a Greg Allman was in a movie. I loved it. Hold on. Oh shit, what are you doing, RC? Freaking weirdo. All right, let's see what the charges are for.
The son of music icon Cher will appear before a judge in New Hampshire coming up this June. Elijah Allman's trial on charges related to an incident at St. Paul's School in Concord will start on June 16th. Allman waived his arraignment on those charges. His mother, Cher, has recently filed a conservatorship.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
Request for his estate.
Go. I will find it elsewhere. Freaking crazy. They didn't want to tell me why. I'll find out though. I shall find out. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. That is so sweet. I appreciate that. I do. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so what did he do? They say he had no, okay, here we go. Ugh. On Friday, February 27th, the Concord Police Department confirmed to people at the time, after allegedly causing a disturbance at the school around 6 p.m., acting belligerently. He was charged 2 counts of simple assault, criminal trespassing, criminal threatening, and disorderly conduct. They did release him on his own recognizances, meaning he didn't have to pay a bail, and agreed to. So why, if he didn't have anything to do with that school, why was he there? Hey, Mags, why are you out of school when you got addiction problems? Days later, he allegedly broke into a home. A residential break-in involving forced entry, where they took him into custody. Wow. Her son is having a lot of issues. And I do think that Cher believes that if he doesn't have access to large amounts of money, that, you know, he's not going to be able to spend it on substances and stuff. And this is the thing, whether people want to believe it or not. People who deal substances, they don't give a fuck who they're dealing it to. Okay? These people who for many, many years have taken this guy, and he's never not found substances. If somebody's looking for substances, they're going to find them. They're going to find them. But manufacturers, dealers, they don't care who you are. They don't care who you are. And a lot of people, I think, sit back and go, well, yeah, they're not going to take your kid for owing them $500. Why would you underestimate individuals who obviously don't care about human life to start with, right? And you know what's kind of interesting too, whether anybody really thinks about this or not? It seems to me, and this is just my opinion from what I've seen, that there were a couple of people, they say they are anyway, I don't know, I don't live there, in Beach Creek who have actually, they say, cleaned their act up. Guess who was gone? Guess who was gone from the area when all of a sudden these addicts are cleaning up their act? The meth manufacturer, right? Does that make sense to you guys? For real, does that make sense to you what I'm saying? An addict isn't going to give up on a substance if it's right there readily available for them. Right there readily available for them, right? Oh, Fred talked about knowing everybody. They don't care who they sell it to. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that all manufacturers and substance dealers, you know, will take a child as payment or whatever. People, it's not like it was when we were younger. You know, yes, we had some gangs. A lot of it was motorcycle related, different things like that. Now we have individuals that is what they specifically do. There are women who, individuals will get addicted to substances knowing they have children. Knowing that they have children. Knowing that they can put these women in situations where they need a fix. Don't think they won't say, take my kid for a little while. Because they will. And they don't care. And they don't care. But yeah, I mean, you live in a holler and you got somebody in there and they're manufacturing that shit. You live right there. I mean, I am glad that if those people have gotten off substances, good for them. Good for them. it's not only the manufacturing of it or you know, or selling it, it's how people react on that specific substance, right? How they act. Seeing shadow people, doing this, doing that. And they don't care. It's sad, but very true. So yeah, Cher's son is now in a psychiatric hospital. They are trying to attempt to restore his mental capacity so he can face a competency hearing on 2 other charges in New Hampshire. He bonds out and gets in trouble the next day. Who does that? Sad. Sad, sad. All right. Anything else I can think of? Let me see. Let me see, whippersnappers. Hey, Barry Manilow. Oh, bless you, Barry Manilow. He's got lung cancer. Barry Manilow has lung cancer. I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that, Barry. Who doesn't love Barry Manilow? Who doesn't love him? I think we all do, for sure. All right, last check to see if I'm missing anything, because I always do miss something. That's the way I am. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Let's see. I'll have to do that on its own too, talking about the Rob Reiner case, for sure. That boy is just one mess after another. One flew over the cuckoo's nest on that, for sure. I don't know, y'all. That is sad. Very sad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, thanks, YouTube. I know my membership's been paused because you guys are just nice guys. YouTube. It's all AI generated crap, for sure. It has. We've got the Josh Duggar thing going on. He's in jail on child molest charges. We had 2 children that were unalived in a school bus crash in Tennessee. That is so sad. So sad. Alan Osmond died. Crazy horses, wah, wah. I remember that song. The road is long with many a winding turns that lead us to who knows where, who knows where. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. Yeah, that's kind of wild. Kind of wild, kind of wild. There was this is the last story. This is it, you guys. I know I bored you guys with what we talked about today. A lot of people don't like me talking about different things, for sure. A missing 2-year-old boy found with the suspect accused of unaliving his mother. That is wild. Okay, police located 2-year-old Royce Hawkins unharmed hours after issuing an Amber Alert following his mother's fatal shooting. The toddler had been found in the same residence as the suspect in the shooting, who was arrested and charged with second-degree red rum. They found the child and suspect in a nearby residence after door-to-door canvassing and tips from the Amber Alert. Wow, so this little boy wasn't very far from home. They issued the Amber Alert around 8:45 a.m. local time that day. Just after 11 a.m., they confirmed that the child was located unharmed. The Amber Alert was answered. That's so sad. When officers arrived, they discovered an adult female, later identified as 25-year-old Jamila Gales. She was not breathing. She was unconscious. She unfortunately passed away. They determined that the 2-year-old son had been with her shortly before it happened and had been missing following the incident. They issued the Amber Alert. The child was with the suspect in the shooting, who was not identified by police, and also another man. Why are they not releasing the name of the perpetrator? Officers have been going door to door. The suspect who was arrested and charged with the second-degree red rum is not the biological father of the child. Oh, well, why are they not getting him for kidnapping then? I'm going to leave that up. I got to look into that. I have to look into that. So let me tell you about David being in jail, and then I'm going to get off here. So David, who was on top of the world, great singer, you know, became a huge success very quickly. He is, as of right now, he is being held in a segregated cell. He's escorted from his cell to the shower. He's only allowed to shower every other day. He's allowed to make phone calls on the days that he showers. He gets 3 hours of rec time with fresh air per week. He has no contact with other inmates, no access to TV, cannot have visitors at this time. Yeah. Also weird. But like I said, it's kind of the magic question is, who else knew about it? Who else knew about it? Who, damn it? Who else, damn it? People do weird shit for money, Poppy. People do weird things for money. I listened to Sloan Bella talk about it. It was kind of interesting, but all right. I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up, sub if you take an inkling to do that. Okay. I would appreciate it very much. I appreciate all my people. I really do. Y'all know that. And like I say on my channel, you never know what you're going to get. Okay. We talk about so many different things. I'm going to keep doing that. I am not changing who I am. For real. Okay. Good night, Mr. A. Blessed day to you. I can't do anything about the stickers right now. I'll email them. Thank you, Courtney. I'll email them and see what the heck's going on. I'm just not putting myself into a position where I'm going to stress about it right now. For real. I'm just, right now, I feel really relaxed. I do. I feel really relaxed. So, but like I say, you never know what we're going to talk about. Thank you, Mods. I appreciate you. Thank you, Poppy. I appreciate you so much, Poppy. I do. Thank you for always popping on, even when I change the time or whatever. It is very much appreciated. For sure. So, like I always say, though, be you, do you. And if you got to get a little feisty, you go right ahead and do it. That's right. Hey, you don't make yourself feisty. Other people cause you to be that way. Don't let people cause that. You know, a little STFU, right? Never hurt nobody. I'm just saying. But no, I do appreciate you guys. I do want to have a fun live. I ain't going to sit here and not have no fun at what I'm doing. I can tell you that right now. We will get that figured out. I can promise you. But I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you donated, thank you so much. It means a lot. It really does. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. And I don't lie when I say that. Okay? For real. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Poppy. All right. Peace out, you guys. Have a good one. You never know what we're going to talk about next. Okay? For real. For real. For real. Constance, I still want to know when you guys talk about the church lady. Let me know, lady, for real. Okay. Peace out, guys. Thank you.